Sometimes beginner players tell more experienced players, I'm not going to play you. You could probably beat me in 2 moves. And while that's not generally what we're trying to do, it is possible. And it's called Fool's Mate. I hope it never happens to you, but let's see, what exactly is Fool's Mate? Well, to start the chess game, White has a weak spot. It's not because he did anything wrong, it's just the nature of the position. That's F2. And Black's weak spot is F7. And in ChessKid land, we always say, don't push your F-pawn without my written permission. That's because if you do, you actually make the square even weaker. So Fool's Mate can only happen if one side plays pretty badly. Let's say White moves the F-pawn. Uh-oh, my written permission was not given. And then Black pushes this pawn, which actually opens up the queen's development. And then White really goes crazy and plays G4. Now the diagonal is completely open to the king, and when the queen marches to H4, it's immediately checkmate. The king has nowhere to move. You can't block because pawns don't go backward. If either of those pawns were at home, White would have been fine. And of course, you cannot capture the queen. So it is checkmate. It is 2 moves for each side. And that, my friends, is Fool's Mate. Now, even though Fool's Mate is incredibly unlikely to ever happen to you, this idea of opening up the diagonal to the king and how dangerous that can be, well, that may occur in a more advanced opening sequence. For example, let's take a look at this game, where White begins with F4. Now, this opening does have a name, but just because it has a name doesn't make it a great opening. It's called Bird's opening. And if Black already starts thinking about giving a checkmate with Queen H4, Black can play this gambit. Black can give away this pawn for free. And if White takes it, Black is not going to play Queen H4 check just yet, because this G pawn saves the day. The G pawn would just block the check. So Black gives another pawn. And if White keeps taking all these birthday presents, Black will take back, and now the bishop has joined the attack. And if White has not watched this video and doesn't realize what's going on and plays a move like Knight C3, now it is checkmate in 3 moves. You know the first move, Queen H4, same idea as before. White only has 1 move, which is to block. And now in this position, funnily enough, you can take the G3 pawn with either piece. However, I kind of like being pretty, and it's always pretty when you can sacrifice your queen to win. White has to take back, bishop takes G3, and that diagonal to the king was so weak that even a lone bishop delivers checkmate. Now, if we back up, I would expect somebody playing this opening as White to be realizing how dangerous this would be and play a move like Knight F3. But you know what? The attack continues, because if Black gets rid of this knight, this checkmate is back on. So Black could play a move like G5 with the idea of G4, and if the knight moves away, then we resume the attack, and we have a very interesting battle on our hands. But you can clearly see it is much more dangerous for White. So my advice, don't move your F-pawn without my written permission. I'm not going to give my permission very often, and if you don't move that pawn, you're going to at least survive to the middle game. I don't ever want to see you losing to Fool's Mate.